Embraer is warning of a potential issue that could affect its orders and deliveries if a resolution cannot be reached sometime soon. The Brazilian manufacturer says that with tariffs being implemented, it would face a persistent threat of order cancellations, and on top of that, delays in existing units delivered to customers. While speaking with Bloomberg, the plane maker's chief executive said there have been no cancellations to date, but the business is preparing for such a turn of events amid political uncertainty that is ramping up. Since President Trump took office, there has been a persistent threat of tariffs right around the world. Some have been implemented, others are continuing to pend as ongoing trade deals attempt to be reached. What this forces companies such as Embraer to do is prepare for the worst case scenario and simply sit patient and hope for the best. Embraer says that zero tariffs are absolutely necessary because fewer aircraft would be produced if a deal could not be struck, all driven by the plane maker's dealings with the United States. Current estimates from the manufacturer's chief executive officer are that if tariffs were to go ahead, a further $2 million would be added to each aircraft, while making the entire production process all the more complicated. These figures would eventually stack up, impact the business, and likely lead airlines to second guess whether or not they will commit to the plane. With Embraer keen to grow what is now a record backlog as airlines continue to look to its product to power the business, the possible impact and its long-term ramifications would be far from ideal. Talk of tariffs follow a busy couple of months for Embraer, which you may know has made a couple of landmark announcements in the United States of all the locations as they look to increase their grip on the market. So all of this comes at not exactly the greatest of times, although I'm sure you could make the case that this would never come at the right time. The Brazilian plane maker is aware that it now has a pretty unique opportunity. Despite a strong backlog, what it can offer to airlines is a product that is ultimately available sooner than Airbus and Boeing jets. And with renewal coming up for many airlines in the regional space, it feels it's now or never to push the E2 for sales. Firstly, the manufacturer saw a deal by Avalo Airlines in September marked the E2 program's development in the United States and really the presence for the very first time. The order, which consisted of up to 100 planes, was headlined by 50 firm purchases alongside purchase rights for a further 50 should the airline wish to activate these at a later date. A very strong contract for Embraer, and for them a hopeful sign of what's to come with the primary competition from the A220. Away from commercial orders, Embraer also announced the groundbreaking of a new facility in the United States to really power this growth that we're seeing. The state-of-the-art MRO, including maintenance, repair and overhaul services, will be located in Fort Worth and is ideal for commercial jets, with an opening planned for 2027, subject to no delays. Embraer says the investment will create 250 skilled jobs in Texas moving forward and sees the investment capping out at US $70 million initially for when this project is complete. This, however, is just one of the many investments that Embraer are looking to launch or have already launched. They see the figure entering the hundreds of millions when all is said and done across many areas as they build the next stage of not just their commercial division but also their defense programs. With this in mind and Embraer's strong intent to grow in the United States, the persistent threat of tariffs and now the possibility of impacting deliveries and seeing order cancellations threaten to hurt this business. As a result, Embraer says it'll work tirelessly with Brazilian politicians alongside the United States directly to reach what will hopefully be a mutually beneficial deal, giving this business the very best chance to move forward with growth in not just a sustainable but also an environment that it would say is secure. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. This is obviously something that we're seeing right around the world, and we'd already got a bit of a brief understanding of what it would look like for Airbus earlier this year with those weird Delta deliveries, and the US carrier coming out and saying it would be forced to look elsewhere and make some pretty big changes to its future fleet outlook if tariffs were to go ahead, as they would really hurt their business moving forward, given that they have such a strong reliance on the Airbus product. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.